Hey everyone, Dr. Adam Graves here. Today we're talking about how to kind of come out of the stress and exhaustion and mental and emotional kind of fatigue coming out of the coronavirus and moving into the summer. Christy Chanel, our blog writer and content writer. So we're trying to give you some tips to kind of move through some of this and get back to some sense of normalcy, some sense of trying to optimize our health and prepare. So go ahead, Christy.
I've been talking to a lot of friends and family, and I'm hearing a lot of the same things, that people are finding themselves really tired right now.
Yeah.
They're sleeping more. They're just kind of exhausted from all of this. And it got me wondering, how do we recover from 2 months of shock and trauma and pretty high stress?
Yeah.
What's the next step in recovering from this physically? How can we do that? First of all, what's going on? Why are we feeling this way?
Yeah. Well, I think we have to have some awareness of how kind of mind and life altering the last few months have been. You know, I don't think any of us, at least I haven't ever, been asked to not leave my house and not kind of do my own thing, lose some independence. So it's been a real adjustment. And I think the hardest part for people, none of us do good with uncertainty. So we are animals that like routine and some sense of control over what we can and cannot do. When that's taken out of our hands, when can we go this way, or what can we do, or when is this open? I think along with all the mixed messages from people in leadership and media, it's just kind of been, a complete disaster in my opinion. So I think we have to understand all those feelings are normal, man. It's exhausting, it's discombobulating, it's uncomfortable. But what we don't want to do is, now that things are starting to open up, we don't want to stay stuck there, so.
Right, because it's like we've been in this fight or flight
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And now I just feel like we're kind of exhausted from it. So how do
Yeah.
we get our energy and physical normality back?
Yeah. I think, well, for me, it's returning to the things before all this happened that I knew helped me cope with stress, that helped me enjoy life. So for me, it's, just starting to get back to nature, starting to move more, get outside more, hike more, bike more, head to the lakes, starting to camp, anything that helps me feel like, well, there's a lot uncertain right now, but there's things I can do that help me move forward and develop some sense of normalcy.
Okay, and I think the weather is obviously such a
Yeah.
help to that. Can you talk about what are some good things? What should we be eating? What should our
Yeah.
diet look like right now to help us recover from this? I feel like maybe our inflammation is kind of
Yeah. All over the place.
overdrive
Yeah.
because of stress, but what is a good diet right now?
Yeah, I think we've all, it's been super stressful. We've all been exhausted. We've all done our best we can, but let's be honest, under stress, our self-care and our good coping mechanisms usually go out the window. Now, we don't want to kind of stay stuck in the fight or flight or the bad habits we've had for a few months. We want to start moving out through that. So it's spring, tons of fresh greens are coming out, fresh berries, like fresh produce is back, coming back. So I like to say eat with the season. So spring and summer, start to get those salads in, more fresh fruits and veggies, and start to slowly kind of clean up the diet a little bit, get outside, start walking, start moving, even if it's just baby steps. I know a lot of people, we felt so paralyzed by this, and a lot of people are scared. I think we got to slowly take some baby steps towards normalcy. And then once that happens, then it's like, oh, okay, what I say is action leads emotion. So if you're feeling stuck, you're feeling scared, you're feeling kind of exhausted, that's okay. You can rest, but also try to just slowly start some self-care actions, whatever that was for you before this, getting a massage, getting your hair and nails done, going out to eat, going on walks. Like, just do your best to slowly get back to some sense of things you enjoy, and self-care to kind of help you get unstuck.
Now, you bring up a really good point in regards to the diet, because how many of us have maybe went off the
Yeah.
diet a little bit, and not to mention because we might be eating less fresh food and
Yeah.
because we haven't been able to go to the grocery store as much or
Yeah.
get out as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So can you talk about how we can detox from some of that less
Yeah.
desirable stuff we've
Yeah. I
eaten
mean,
over the last couple months? Because you can it just makes you feel bogged down. So how do you gently get yourself cleansed from that stuff so you can start feeling better on a new diet? Let's go there.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's, there's lots of ways. It's however, people want to do it. If they just want to take a 1 or 2 days a week where they eat nothing but fresh fruits and vegetables all day, um, or they want to just start incorporating drinking more water, cutting back on, alcohol, cutting back on carbs and sugars if they can, and just start getting back to more healthy habits.
Now, so it's easy to say cut back on carbs and sugar. What does that look like? Like, it's so
Well,
easy in my mind to say, yep, I'm going to cut back on carbs, but I don't know
yeah.
what
So,
that looks like. How do I do that?
well, so one thing I like to do is tell people we need to add in more, maybe not take away things, but add in more fruits and veggies.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so you add in things that are going to fill your belly, so then ideally you're not needing as much. Your
Great.
appetite's a little better controlled.
Great
And
idea.
maybe diets, maybe you're not mentally ready to deal with diet. Maybe all you can do is get outside and lay out in the sun for 20 minutes and get your vitamin D better. Individual.
One little thing.
One
Um,
little thing.
is intermittent fasting, that's something that's kind of
Yeah.
like a
So
trend
yeah,
right now. I don't know if it's going to be a trend that stays forever, but is that something good to start giving our bodies a break?
yeah.
Oh,
So
been
intermittent
eating.
fasting, yeah. So basically carbs, excess carbs or too much sugar leads to insulin resistance, which is a precursor to aging, diabetes, things like that. Intermittent fasting, where once or twice, some people do it every day. I recommend people just starting once or twice a week, maybe just skipping breakfast. So if you're a type of person that eats 3 meals a day, start to either push that breakfast more towards a brunch or just skip breakfast and eat lunch and dinner. So you increase that fasting. You're fasting longer overnight and into the morning, and that gives your body a break from the carbs and sugars and lets it start repairing itself, burning fat, reducing some of the insulin resistance, and kind of starting to work with you. And it's a good way just to give your a body break from, all the excess sugar and alcohol and things we've been doing for a few months.
And I've also known, or I've recognized when I do that, I make better food choices the rest of the day.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
Exactly. So that's where we want to just, whatever self-care, whatever that looks like for you, the more you can give to yourself and calm your stress, then in my opinion, you have more mental capacity to make better food choices.
Awesome. One last thing.
Yeah.
Supplements. What are
Oh,
some good supplements? I know they can help so much in getting us
yeah.
feeling better, but now that we're
Yeah.
coming out of this, what would you recommend?
Yeah. Well, correct. So I would, I think it's time to everybody, we got to start focus on getting back to optimal, even just good general health. So maybe just starting if people are overwhelmed and stressed and exhausted, feeling, maybe just like a good multivitamin, a good vitamin D, vitamin C, and then, ideally, I'm big on adaptogen herbs and adrenal support to help people kind of recover through the stress.
And that's a good point, because if we have been under this stress for a really long time, our adrenal glands might just be overworked, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
and then no matter, we really need to help them recover from all of this. So adaptogen herbs, what do you have in your office that someone can pick up?
Yeah, so that's what a lot of times I work with patients. So a lot of my patients come in and they need help recovering, but they're so mentally and physically exhausted. I don't want to just say, hey, move more and eat right, because that's just two more things they're exhausted to
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my approach is the first month or two, let's work on mood and energy, get you feeling better, and then hopefully you'll start moving and eating better. So one way to get feeling better is, adaptogen herbs, adrenal response, by Innate Formulas, or Adrenal Men by Douglas Labs, I think it is, along with a good multi, even if it takes just some good B vitamins, some things to start to help your body recover, so you mentally, emotionally feel a little bit um, basically supported. So then it's easier to like, oh, I actually feel like I have energy to go on a walk, or I feel like energy now, I can actually cook a meal versus just ordering out or grabbing something on the way home.
And just to get this clear, the supplements are not the ones giving you energy. The supplements are supporting your body for
Yeah,
your body to
yeah,
create that sense of energy. So it's not a drug or something that is giving you the energy. It's helping your body produce that.
exactly. It's not a
Okay.
stimulant. It's not like a caffeine drink, or it's not like something that your body is going to become dependent on. It's herbal medicine, and herbs have been used for thousands of years in other cultures, not so much in the U.S. culture. Basically, stress isn't new, right? Stress has been a human thing for thousands of years. So other cultures have found these herbs that, like, hey, a lot of times we can't change the stress out here, but we can support the stress in here mentally, physically, and that's where herbal medicine really can help.
And for our next blog and newsletter, we've talked about the topic of chronic inflammation and
Yeah,
how that stress, and it could be even stress from the last couple months,
yeah,
can create chronic inflammation and the dangers of that. And I want to talk to you about very easy ways that we can, things that we can
yeah,
do on a daily basis to decrease that inflammation, because it can lead to some pretty scary stuff. So
yeah, for
I hope
sure.
everyone stays tuned for that, and check out next week's blog and newsletter.
Yeah. And let us know. We're here if you guys need anything. If acupuncture, any way to help you get unstuck, let's all kind of get unstuck together.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Have a good day.